What's going on, guys? It's your boy DJ Skandalous here, and we're back with another video. For this one, I'm going to break down why Tupac Shakur may have a child, and why he may not. Fact or fiction? Let's get it.
I'm built for it, nigga.
Alright, so before we jump into this video, I want to let you guys know I don't have an overall judgment or opinion on this matter. I'm just going to state some facts. I'm going to break down some key songs and some song lyrics, as well as some interview footage. So this video is just going to break down the rumor for you guys, whether or not he had a child or not. And we're going to break down as to why he may have a child, and we just don't know about it yet. So throughout Tupac's career, he made several songs on this matter, and he alludes to whether or not he has an unborn child or a child on the way. And this is more apparent in the song Letter to My Unborn, which came out in 2001. It was a remix form of the song. Originally, Tupac recorded that song over a totally different beat, and they took the Liberian Girl sample from Thug and Me, which was also Michael Jackson's sample for his Liberian Girl song. And they took that song and they removed the sample from Thug and Me and they plopped it on to Letter to My Unborn. And that's the version that we all heard in the music video and on the album. So for me, the song is way better in the original form, the way Tupac made it. And they remix a lot of his tracks is because they were avoiding sample clearance issues by remixing the tracks, and it was a lot cheaper for them to actually remix the song instead of pay all these copyright owners for the sample usage. However, I don't think the reason as to why Letter to My Unborn was remixed was the sample clearance issue, because they actually used the same beat, the same sample on the Tupac album Are You Still Down for a remix of I Wonder If Heaven Got a Ghetto in 1997. So to me, it's very weird as to why they remixed this track. And one of the biggest travesties for me in the song is in the remix on the music video and on the album, they actually removed half of Tupac's outro where he's talking to his unborn child. And he breaks down the rules of the game and what he wants his child to understand about life. And he breaks down not being here anymore and possibly being murdered or killed and looking down on him from heaven. So I didn't really like the remix in that regard because they removed his outro where he's talking from his heart to his child. And one of the crazy thing is that this song was actually recorded in 1995 for Tupac's album All Eyes on Me. Now I believe it was on the original draft of All Eyes on Me called Euthanasia, and it got moved over when he was recording more tracks for All Eyes on Me, and it got bumped off for whatever reason. And that's kind of crazy because there's so many songs such as Late Night, Letter to My Unborn that was recorded for All Eyes on Me. And then we have songs like What's Your Phone Number and Heaven Ain't Hard to Find and Ain't Hard to Find that made it the actual album. Now, I can understand that the song I Ain't Hard to Find actually made the album because it had Richie Rich and E40, and those guys are considered West Coast pioneers. However, I'm not too sure why a song such as Letter to My Unborn, which was totally amazing, powerful, great sample, did not make this album. Now, it could be one reason as to why this song did not make the album is because Tupac wanted the song to be left behind for his child to hear, if he had a child on the way or if he had a newborn baby. See, the thing for me is, I don't understand why Tupac made the song if he did not have a child on the way or had the knowledge of a child on the way. And here we're going to break down some key lines from this song right here. So when you look at the song Letter to My Unborn, that's on genius.com here. See the intro, he says, to my unborn child, this goes out to my unborn in case I don't make it. Now, like I said, he made this song in 1995. So if this was going to be released on the All Eyes on Me album, it wouldn't make much sense, because if there was no child on the way and Tupac would have stayed alive for several more years, 96, 97, 98, then why would he have a song from several years back called Letter to My Unborn, even though there was no child yet? So to me, that's more speculation that maybe this song, it was left off possibly due to a clearance issue, or maybe Tupac felt like this song could be left behind in case something did happen. Because to me, this song would have been a top song on All Eyes on Me. Probably one of the best. And when you scroll down here, you see that Tupac has way more lines in the actual outro. And actually fades out when Tupac says, be an individual. He goes on to say, work hard, study, get your mind sharp, trust nobody, money over bitches. Don't let these busters run you out. Don't let no man put his hands on you. Don't let no woman use you. Don't be a trick. Don't be a player hater. Don't be a wife beater. And to me, this is actually crazy, like I said, that they removed this, because this is just what he wanted his child to have an understanding of. And obviously in the third verse, he alludes to this is in case he passes away, because he says, Dear Lord, can you hear me? Tell me what to say to my unborn seed in case I pass away. And here's a clip of the original song right here.
Don't let no woman
Also on that same album in 2001, they also remixed another song called Words to My Firstborn. Now, this song is kind of grittier in terms of lyrics and the concept. It's more geared towards unborn babies that are aborted and that don't get the chance to actually live a life and have a life, as opposed to his own child. However, the original that you don't hear on the actual album had a different beat, had Nutso featured as the third verse instead of Above the Law, had a way better sample, and could have been one of the most classic Tupac records released after his passing. And here's the track Words to My Firstborn, which you can see the lyrics are a lot grittier like I was saying. However, there are some key lines in here as well. Living blind, Lord, help me with my troubled soul, while all my homies had to die before they got to grow. So right there he's talking about other people's children, and other people that were growing up in the struggle that actually died probably a lot younger than what Tupac died at. And then second verse that he has here, he says, although it hurt me, there was no distortion, cause while seeds can't grow, we need more abortions. Quiet your soul, cause you know what you had to do, and so did the victims of a world they never came to. So he's talking about children that actually never got the chance to have a life and actually breathe. And this was yet another song where Tupac had a longer outro, and they totally removed it. The original song was produced by DJ Quick, and you can also hear it online as a song called Things Are Changing, which is a totally different recording under the same beat, but also features the same lyrics. So for this one, we don't really actually know if he's actually talking to his unborn child or his newborn child. However, when you go out throughout the song, you can hear that he's actually rapping about abortions and whether or not he feels that's right or not. Also, on that same very album, there's another song called Happy Home. And this is a song that Tupac actually recorded for the All Eyes on Me album again in 95-96. However, this song breaks down in the second verse as a child having his eyes and mouth. Now, the weird thing about this is, how would Tupac know that his child would have his eyes and mouth if the child was not born yet? Because you could have a child that has your eyes and mouth, has your ears, has your bone structure, or you could have a child that has its mother's eyes and mouth, and has some other features of you. So it seems kind of crazy that he actually pointed out these features as opposed to anything else. Now here's the song Happy Home, like I said, released on the same album in 2001 in remix form. And you'll see in verse 2 he says, born through the hard times, get a child of mine. I wonder if you have to suffer for your father's crimes. To be honest, it's a hard road. Just keep your faith in God knowing that you'll get scarred though. Then he goes on to say, look at him walking and talking, a little child with my eyes and mouth. Father, watch over my seeds, help me guide them out. He also goes on to say, had to change my whole lifestyle, married my baby's mama, made her my wife now. So why would he say baby's mama if there's no child? Then he also goes on to say, show me the meaning of forever and together we rise. If it would help our child grow, then together we die. Also, there's another song where Tupac mentions his unborn children and unborn seeds. And this is a song that he recorded with Scarface called Smile For Me. And this song was actually remixed in 1997 for Scarface's album. And here's the Smile For Me lyrics. Towards the end of the verse he says, living in the projects, broke with no lights on, to all the seeds that follow me, protect your essence. So again, he's talking about children, his seeds. However, when you go to his third verse, here's where it gets kind of iffy. He says, to help me, somebody save me, lost and crazy, scared to drop a seed, hoping I ain't cursed my babies. Now this is kind of crazy because he actually raps from a pretense form and a current form. See, the first part he raps, scared to drop a seed, as if it didn't happen yet. But then he also raps, hoping I ain't cursed my babies, as if they're already here. Now, could this have been an error on Tupac's part? Because we all know that he recorded many songs drunk and high. But why didn't he just say, scared to drop a seed, hoping I won't curse my babies? So that's something you gotta take into account here and think about. So the last song I'm actually gonna show you guys is actually an unreleased song. The clip actually just leaked online maybe a week or two ago. And this was a song that we've seen on many Tupac track lists, because Tupac made track lists for mostly every unreleased song that you can possibly find. He has full albums of his unreleased material, handwritten down, and actually this song was on several track lists from Tupac's Me Against the World, Crucified, Fuck the World albums that he actually wrote down in 93 and 94. However, we weren't too sure that there was another recording of the song because it actually shares the same name as Tupac's song, It Ain't Easy. And on Tupac's album, Me Against the World, he has a song called It Ain't Easy, and it features a totally different beat, totally different lyrics as to what we hear in this clip here. And this is so apparent because in so many Tupac songs, you have the same title, but it's a totally different song, and he just borrows the ending or the title of that song for another song. Or he may use the same lyrics in a totally different song, or he may use the same beat. However, it's totally different recordings. So this song just shares the same name, and it has totally different verses and a totally different beat. But what you'll see here is Tupac actually says he has a baby on the way. So in 93 and 94, why would he rap that he has a baby on the way when it's not true?
It ain't easy. It ain't easy. I be the first to hit the block if it's poppin'. I'm up all night getting my hustle on, nigga, non-stoppin'. Got a baby on the way, I ain't saved a penny. And even if I hustle to my grave, how many more triggers can a nigga pull and still sleep? It ain't easy living on the street.
So I just want to point out another key thing here, guys, is that Tupac didn't always rap from his own perspective. He rapped about things that he read about in newspapers. He rapped about things that were told to him by other people, by his homies, by his friends. And not everything was based on his life. So you may have a song such as Smile For Me or a song such as Letter to My Unborn, which weren't true events that actually already transpired, but they could actually lead into something in the future, or it could be based on someone else's life. But for me, I really do think Letter to My Unborn, he left unreleased because in case something would happen, the song would be left behind in his unborn child that potentially could be born in the future, whether or not he died in 96, 97, 98, or whenever that could possibly happen, that they would have the song left behind to be able to hear, such as what you've seen in newspapers and online about Michael Jackson's kids having their own songs recorded for them in case something happened. Also, here's another key fact. Here's the original draft of All Eyes on Me. There's many drafts of this album. However, when you look at the track list, you'll see that most of the track list was mostly recorded and released. However, you got some songs on here like Fair Exchange that ended up on other Tupac albums such as Better Days. You had Letter to My Unborn, which we talked about earlier. We had Late Night. You also see here track 22 called My Baby's Mama. So again, why would he have a song called My Baby's Mama without having a baby? However, the lyrics of this song is actually leaked out on the internet because it was actually a screenshot of Tupac's handwritten lyrics released in the Tupac Resurrection book that came out around 2002-2003. So in Genius, you actually have the lyrics actually already in here, even though the song is not leaked yet. He goes on to say, "Ain't nothing changed, at least for me, feelings is still the same. We've been together too long to be involved in childish games." And from what we know, that Tupac has one verse on here, he may have multiple, however, we don't know the other verses of this track. However, when you look at his first verse, there's some key lines in here. "Even though you stole my heart, I ain't about to press charges. It's a sticky situation, the drama I be facing. Trying to take my baby mama on a fantasy vacation. While I'm snatching and taking, I'll be stacking what I'm macking. Cause you know my kids need transportation. I hate to see you waiting at the train station." Then he also says, "Even though my moms hate you, and my moms can't stand me, don't even trip, we got our family." And this song is reportedly recorded. Alright guys, so we have this article here on TupacLegacy.net, and the title reads, "Does Tupac Shakur have kids?" On April 29, 1995, Tupac married girlfriend Keisha Mars at Clinton Correctional Facility. The civil ceremony was witnessed by his mother and Tupac's cousin. Tupac tells his wife Keisha that he wants to have children. In the source interview below, she talks about this. Keisha Mars went on to say, "When we got married, Tupac said he wanted to have kids. His publicist and our close friend Karen Lee was shocked to see how much Tupac had changed. She had never heard him talk about marriage or children. Tupac picked out the names of his children, which was Michelangelo for a boy and Star for his daughter." Keisha Mars went on to say that Tupac actually wanted to move to Arizona and have children. And she went on to say, "I liked Star, but not Michelangelo. We tried to have kids, but the weed that Tupac smoked affected us." Tupac also had visions of his future. And here's another article here on ClassicHipHopMagazine.com. And when you scroll down here, here's a brief caption here that relates to Busta Rhymes and Tupac Shakur. It says, "The strongest indicator of the gender of Tupac's alleged child comes from the liner notes of Busta Rhymes' 1997 album, When Disaster Strikes. The thank you section says that Tupac Shakur has a daughter. It reads, Tupac, soldier warrior, may Allah bless you, your family, your daughter, her mother, your mother, Avini Shakur." And this is also kind of strange too, because I always felt like Busta Rhymes had some type of animosity against Tupac because he actually recorded songs with Biggie in 1995, and that was a song called The Ugliest, which was also set for Busta Rhymes' album. And this song was totally scrapped from the project because Biggie actually has several lines in the song dissing Tupac. However, when he remixed the song for Biggie's album around 1998-1999 for the album Born Again, they actually removed this part and actually had Busta Rhymes come in and replace the lines by Biggie. And the whole reason why this song was not released in the original form in 1995 is because apparently Busta Rhymes did not want to have Tupac get offended and start dissing him and coming at him and creating problems as well. And maybe there was some type of level of respect that Busta Rhymes had for Tupac during that time too, and that's may be the reason as to why he didn't actually want a diss in that record. Also, we have another article here on Daily Star. And this is an article that was done several years ago, and it says, people have been sharing this photo online as reportedly of the late rapper's secret daughter. The picture of the young woman posing in a strippy t-shirt does bear a striking resemblance to the hip-hop star that was gunned down in a drive-by shooting in 1996. Internet users are also pointing out to another photo that backs up these claims, which shows Tupac with his mother holding a young child, although her face is not visible. Alright guys, so how do you guys feel about this? Do you feel like Tupac recorded songs just in case something happened to him? Do you feel like he actually recorded songs because he has a child that no one knows about? And one of the key reasons as to why we may never know about it is because obviously there will be still some type of animosity. People will say, well, the East Coast West Coast war is long dead. However, you can't be too sure about that because you don't know everybody out there in this world today. You may still have people that still have some type of animosity that Notorious B.I.G. got caught up in the mix as well in the East Coast West Coast war and is dead. So, when I break down, Tupac's murder and Biggie's murder, I always say that I feel like Biggie died because he went to Los Angeles way too fast. He went to Los Angeles to promote his album Life After Death, and he went there only 6 months after Tupac died, and there was still a lot of hostility, especially with East Coast West Coast rivalry. And you can say what you want about the media instigating the whole ordeal, but you actually had the Crips and the Bloods still at war with one another. And if you take somebody from the East Coast, you come into the West Coast, especially when Tupac wasn't, I wouldn't consider Tupac, the gang leader or gangster or anything like that, but he was like a figurehead of the West Coast, a symbol. And when you take him out, I think it's kind of rash and ridiculous that you would go there 6 months later and feel like you're untouchable. And Biggie went there, and it's not to really downplay on Biggie or hate on Biggie, I'm just telling you guys. He went there 6 months later, and he rapped Long Kiss Goodnight on Sway Radio. So I feel like the Pyrus definitely heard that, and they took offense to that. Someone coming from a different coast, coming into their hood, their town, and rapping about Tupac. And you can definitely tell Long Kiss Goodnight was a Tupac diss because he says about Laugh Now, Cry Later. That was a tattoo on Tupac's back. He says, I ain't mad at ya. That's a Tupac song. So it's definitely a diss. And he raps about the song actually being recorded after Tupac's death. So a lot of people took offense to that Biggie couldn't actually come out with the song or this song while Tupac was alive and could actually retaliate on wax, So I feel like Biggie set himself up, and maybe even Puffy or Diddy actually instigated it by making Biggie go out and really promote his album. Maybe it was accidentally, but I still feel like Biggie had no reason to come to the West Coast so quick. So I feel like due to that, I feel like the Tupac family, if there was a child that Tupac had, I definitely feel like they would keep it under wraps, because if the Pyrus or whoever went after Biggie in the West Coast, who's to say that somebody won't go after Tupac's family or Tupac's children? We just don't know. So for me, I feel like if there's a Tupac child out there, we would never know about it due to that matter. So guys, how do you feel about this? Do you feel like there's a Tupac child out there? Do you feel like Tupac actually recorded songs for his child or not? Drop your comments below. Be sure to check out my Twitch and my Patreon and my YouTube channel memberships for new perks and goodies out there. I'm also going to be gaming and doing live streams on Twitch maybe next month when I get everything set up. This is DJ Skandalous signing out. Peace out.